Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Hunter x Hunter episode 131. Leave a like and subscribe. Check out Patreon to see the end of Hunter x Hunter. Stay tuned for our end of the Chimera Ant arc discussion that will be happening after the end of the Chimera Ant arc. We broke down the first part, broke down the second part, and now we're going to be breaking down the whole thing after we get to the end of this arc. It'll be a full-on review, podcast, discussion type thing. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Let's check it out. Any thoughts?
Nope. No thoughts.
No thoughts at all.
Pouf is so shitty for doing that. I hope he gets everything that is coming to him.
Anger X and X Light.
I'm going to stomp on him.
このままだとゴンって子は確実に殺される。ピトーを止められるのはこの私だけです。
I don't believe a word he says. That was sick. Going all the way there.
See how fast he's moving though?
The speed of lightning.
Yeah.
The sounds of that. He sewed up the shirt.
Yeah.
GON、君を殺さなきゃいけない。王のため。俺を殺すしてくれないの?
About to lose it.
カイトをくれないの?
Oh my god. This is how people feel when they see you. Holy shit. It's that strong, then it's not gonna be too much of a fight.
It's like killua's programming thing.
The ceiling? Or left?
Sebum freaks. Arnold Schwarzenegger freaks.
He just turned into a JoJo character.
He did.
This is children in JoJo look like this.
Yeah, this is a 12-year-old in JoJo.
What the hell?
What do you think's going on?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell this is. Look how long his hair is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about this. He looks so weird.
Yeah.
Like, specifically his face just looks weird. Me either. It's just his willpower. Since he's an enhancer, can he enhance just his body? Like his cells?
To grow to age like 15 years. Just going for it. Bombastic side eye.
Oh
Look
my
at that! Look at the fucking thighs!
Bye,
hear that?
PITOU. Shit!
Oh my fucking god!
途切れかけた意識を安堵していた。
Why is she thanking goodness?
命を圧縮することでしか成し得ないである。
A condition.
二度と念能力が使えなくな
A
っても
condition placed on himself.
それほど覚悟でな
Like
ければ
kurapika.
Holy shit. He literally does not think in advance of like the next 2 seconds.
No.
天賦の才を持つ者が全て投げ出してよ
All
う
the
やく得られ
potential.
るほどの
This
力。
it's like very similar to how Kite was, isn't it? Or somewhat? I can't remember.
All that childhood potential, all that optimism he sacrificed for power. And his future.
Yeah.
よかった。
Killua gonna show up and be like, what the actual fuck is
電光
going
石火に
on?
よってついたキルアが聞いたのは
あれは
Just there must be just nothing left.
目にしたものは
There's just gonna be nothing left.
ものとは全く違うシルエットの振り下ろしたであろう入れた拳がすでにように横たわりピトーの頭部を
じゃあ
砕く瞬間であった。
カ
Yeah, really the way Kite...
He did teach him that, to go for the head, remember? With the brain.
It's true.
He literally taught him that, that's why he's saying that.
GON なのか。キルア。
すぐにビスケを連想したキルアだったが、
ビスケは容姿が激変しただけで、的に増加したわけじゃない。何よりビスケ姿に戻っただけ。けど、何年、何十年、修行を経て、ようやくたどり着くはずの姿。対象を払えば、これだけのオーラを。
Made a noise.
王のテレプシコーラン、王のため死後さらにった念をまとい、二つだけが目的のムクロ人形と化し、クワエンと跳躍様へを見せた。まばたきされない薄く細い時間のキルアは聞いた。
大丈夫。強がりじゃない。少しだけ嬉しい。やっとカイトと同じになれた。あの時のゴン。少しだけ救われた。
With his own arm.
右腕はやるよ。
It's like netero.
お前も。ダメだ。そんな、これ以上、そんな力。止めろと。じゃあ、
Well, that's the one that we've all been waiting for.
See, I thought nothing could top the unexpectedness of like 3 episodes ago when Pouf and Youpi were feeding themselves to the king, and I said, yeah, no one would ever expect this, but I would also never expect this.
I didn't expect this.
I don't think anyone could ever expect this. It's so...
For this one, I don't want to talk too much. I'll go through my more complete thoughts at the end of the arc with the discussion for all this. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna have a podcast discussion discussing and reviewing the Chimera Ant arc and in depth with analysis and questions from you guys and everything. So stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna take a back seat for this discussion. If you want to say anything, then you can, or if you have anything. I will say, I'm glad you noticed the killua thing, because the comments are going to be filled with that. That he made a footstep for the first time, or that he made sound.
It was like silent too.
But he made
the
sound.
moment. Yeah,
it's the only time his footsteps ever make sound in the show.
It's just crazy. When he was first here like this, I actually really like that they did this, because it makes it seem like because it's like you see like his aura really manifesting and all dark and stuff. So when you see him like this, it's like, oh, you don't think like, oh, he actually just like looks like that now. It's like it could be like the presence of him. It like grew and like changed into a monster because he is like exuding the energy of a monster. Like PITOU said, it's like, oh, he's like on the level as the king right now. So you're like, oh, of course, like, yeah, that this is like what PITOU is seeing, because he is so
That's fine.
Just because he's so worked up. And then, or what even was like the moment when he goes out and then you just see him and he's actually just like, literally looks like he's in JoJo. This is literally a JoJo character, especially with the really long hair that just like
goes
ascends into the sky. For some reason, it's super cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the idea, I think, is that he never got a haircut. So
yeah, it's like that's like to gauge how
old he is.
Yeah. Although for your hair to grow that much, it would be like 100 years. I mean, we learned
with Netero you could live 100 years, and if he is the level of the king, not even Netero approached that power.
That's true. And I like, this is a weird detail to point out. I'm trying to click on it here, but because of Kite's really long hair, when that wind was blowing around, because they set it up with like candles and everything too, so the wind is like flinging stuff around, throws the candles down, Kite's hair is like flipping around, and it's like this super disturbing image of like his dead body, but his hair is just like flying all over the place. It's so, and yeah, PITOU just didn't even stand a chance. Like even from that close. First kick, like we've seen throughout the series just how much these ants can take hits, like especially the royal guards, like, you know, to be coughing up blood and like from just a kick, from literally like nothing. Like he literally just.
Yeah, PITOU in any other situation with a hit like that, like, or that's been like, we saw PITOU get hit by Netero, and the whole thing was just like, oh no, I'm flying away. You know, I need to recover. In this, that it just shows you the difference in scale here, just how strong GON is, that he hit PITOU into the air, and the whole time, all the way down, PITOU was like struggling to breathe and had no like thoughts or any plan, you know.
This really reminds me of the way that Kite was sitting when he died, but I can't remember whether it actually looked like that or not.
It's more like with when PITOU was holding Kite's head in that little pool of water, except the head's gone.
It's also actually kind of similar to the pose that Kite was in when he like didn't have an arm and he was kind of like standing with his legs like really
sort
weird.
Of, yeah.
It's kind. I don't know. This is very reminiscent of.
Is it maybe when
multiple things?
Maybe when GON got hit by hisoka? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know, but this is just it's a very striking image, and I feel like it's reminding me of multiple things.
It reminds me of when Guts fought the 100 soldiers and he was like leaning up against a tree, but that's completely unrelated.
But yeah, and then it's so, yeah, when you point out to me, it's like, oh yeah, he did say to kill their head, to like kill their brain, basically.
Yeah, because he didn't when they each fought their own Chimera Ant and Yunju's.
And then he didn't, but it's so that line is so interesting because I immediately thought of like the broader sense of like Kite would not support what you're doing here, but then that is what he told him. It's like, yeah, get rid of their head. So it's like how he's remembering that, but not all of the other lessons that Kite taught to him, you know. Like, or
Kite's philosophy in general, or how
he's typical Gon, very selectively remembering things to further what he desires to do at the moment. And it's just like the.
And then with Gon losing the arm, and then he said, "It's okay, it doesn't hurt. I'm happy now because I'm like Kite was."
Yeah. It's like that's
just how far gone he is, and how
absolutely
disconnected from reality. Yeah.
Like, and it's so the way it's so impressive to me just how much like all of this has been woven into the story over the past time. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but it's like, you know, when he gets into the state, like when he was fighting with the bomber, and he didn't remember that there was a way to get his arms back. He was he was like so blinded to anything past the current thing that the current emotions that he's feeling are the only emotions that he's ever going to feel until he stops feeling them, essentially. So to him, it's like, this is everything. This is worth everything. And and how PITOU was like, oh, did he run off to attack the king? Because that is like, you know, no one, we just realized the king is back. He's got a power up. He's more powerful than ever. Literally no one on earth could ever stop him. And then Gon is like, oh, he could stop him. He could stop him. If he cared about anything other than his own selfish desires, he could use his like last stand to take out the king and save humanity. It's like, but he doesn't care about that. That's
because he didn't get that power because of humanity. He got it because of his being a kid and losing hope, right?
Yeah, it's so.
Yeah.
So.
He sacrificed all that potential, all that stuff I was talking about last episode of, like, you know, that Gon is this potential for the future, this talent, this possibility.
Everyone who sees him is just like, oh, he has potential. He's literally like the kid that everyone sees and is like, oh, he has potential.
Yeah.
But and throughout everything, he has been so short-sighted and, like, you know, has wanted to take the fast track to getting what he wants. And it's like, yeah, he could, like, this isn't just like something that he could only achieve by doing this. This is like if he, you know, went home and buckled down and trained for the next 100 years, then like he could be like this, you know? But he wanted it now, so he gets it now and doesn't get the rest of it.
Yeah. And then there's that giant nuke at the end. Also, if you remember back with at the end of the Yorknu arc, back at the end of the Yorknu arc when Finks and Phaeton ran into them at the auction, and they like ran out, and they're all wearing suits and stuff for the auction.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Nen after death. About a Nen curse.
Yes.
So PITOU's ability of Tepiskora or whatever it's called, it's what PITOU uses to make the puppets out of the soldiers and stuff like that, and allows PITOU to control all the other people. PITOU used it on themselves to after, because she knew she was gonna die, so she used it, and then fucking once he could take Gon by surprise in the end. And but as the narrator explains, it's not just that Tepiskora was used, it's that the will was so strong.
Yeah.
So that was foreshadowed 100 episodes ago, almost, or 80 episodes ago, whatever it was. That ended in like episode 60s or something like that, 40s, 50s, 60s. The whole Nen after death, and then we see it come to fruition here. It's like this. Yeah, it's so good. But what's gonna happen to Gon? Is he even alive?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like he would be for very much.
How badass was it when he grabbed his arm and then skewered
That was-
PITOU with it? How
I
psychotic.
mean, it's badass, but like, and this is interesting too, as well. Here, how he doesn't need his arm
For the
to make
Jajangmyeon.
it, which is like I said in the episode, it's like when
It's like
Netero
Netero,
lost
yes.
his arm, and it's like, oh, you think that my physical body has anything to do
A prayer comes
with
from
what
the
I'm?
heart.
Yeah, it's like
Exactly.
he doesn't need his arm. So that, I mean, even though that was much more recent, it's still it's the same thing. It's like he doesn't need his arm. He has so much willpower to do this that it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And Killua,
Like, what is Killua going through with all this? You know what I mean?
I was so close to crying during when they were playing like the sad music and all this black and white, wherever it was, where they
Right
were
before
like,
this.
yeah, where they were like looking at each other and like it's just and everything's in slow motion. It's just so fucked up. Like that was his first and only friend for so long, and just like. It's so sad as well that Killua... First of all, Killua didn't go with him because he was like, oh no, I will, like...
I'll do it alone.
Gon was like, I'll do it alone, and Killua was like, oh yeah, then I could become a hostage, and that wouldn't be good, or, you know, I could, like, distract him or, like, mess it up for him. And then all of this shit happens, and then Killua, if he doesn't get carried away in this blast here... has to just think about like, oh, if I had gone with him, would I have been able to settle him down? Would I have been able to like share in his grief over Kite and talk him off this ledge, or would I, you know, what, like it's like all, then it just becomes about all of the what ifs when it, you know.
I mean, exactly like what happened with Kite, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's
and Killua probably feels guilty, but it's also fucked up that he feels guilty, that he would feel guilty, or that he feels bad because it wasn't his choice to do this, you know. He was just trying to help Gon, and like, yeah, with Gon, like, it's just like, just looking at Killua's journey to this moment is so heartbreaking, because like he has no hope, then Gon comes and gives him hope, gives him friendship, they trust each other, and he's kind of, Gon is like leading him along, but he's also teaching Gon about like a lot of different things, and they grow together and they change together, but then you know, a little extra pressure's put in, and now Killua, who was sort of not subordinate to Gon, but like inspired by him, is now like playing the, you know, like it's almost like Gon is like an addict, and his friend became an addict, and now he's like trying to help him out, and he's trying to like get, you know, like in the background, not like telling him what to do, but also taking the abuse of like, you know, you don't care. All Killua was doing is trying to help him, trying to save him, trying to help him do what he needs to do, but also he knows that it's not right, and he's trying to help him, but Gon just doesn't listen. And then to see this one person who, like Kite for Gon, was like this inspirational thing, devolve into this like selfishly powerful entity, this deluded thing, and, you know, fully literal self-destruction, like watching this person who was like so inspiring just self-destruct in front of you, literally, you know. What does that mean for Killua, who's just been trying to do his best the whole time? Who's just been trying to help him?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like Killua has made so much of his own personality just helping Gon, because Killua didn't have any ambitions or anything really. He just like made a friend and then was like, yeah, I'll go along with you and I'll help you. But and like previously, like Bisky, remember Bisky was like, oh yeah, you need to like smarten up or you're gonna get Gon killed, like, or whatever. Was that what she said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Or you're gonna leave Gon when the time comes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Interesting. But yeah, it's like like Killua was like trying so hard to not sabotage what Gon was doing, basically, but he didn't need someone else to sabotage it. He was perfectly capable of doing that himself, you know? And but what's interesting is like, Killua, like, even after this, I think because he has experienced so much more than Gon and has had to experience such a wider range of emotions than him, that, like, I feel like even if Gon dies here, that Killua eventually would be able, like, I think he would be able to handle it better and would eventually be able to move on and, like, regain sense of self. Whereas Gon, because he had been, you know, so, like, wrapped up in his own little world, you know, they're just such different people.
Level
and, like,
of maturity.
And for a while, it's like, oh, Gon really has it better off because he's just so optimistic and everything is great. And Killua's like, yeah, I mean, I wish my life hadn't been so horrible, and, like, I wasn't, like, sad and, like, didn't feel like doing anything. But it's like, you know, that gave him some experiences that would, you know, help him in a situation like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, I actually saw a comment from Ellie, who's somebody who comments a lot. Mm-hmm. She was saying that, like, Killua's situation is so sad because he started off with an abusive family who just tried to control him and, like, just was so micromanaging and so not only telling him what to do, but like forcing him what to do, literally manipulating his mind into doing what they want, and, like, never giving him a choice and beating him and abusing him. And, you know, saying, oh, we love you, this toxic, terrible form of love. And then he meets Gon, and you think it's, like, so awesome. But then as the series goes on, you kind of realize that it's not so great. It's the opposite of what his family was. That doesn't make it good. It might make it a little bit better, but it's still abusive. Like, it's still this, like, neglectful taking advantage of Killua. Like, in the dodgeball match, like, Gon doesn't even consider, like, he does consider. He knew that Killua's hands were never going to work again, and he wasn't thinking about Breath of Archangel. Just like how he wasn't when he lost his arm. Yeah. He clearly holds the future in such little regard in general because he's a kid and he has no perspective. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't considering how Killua, he was so wrapped up in himself, he wasn't considering Killua at all. He was totally neglecting Killua's side of things the entire time. Killua did nothing but support him and, you know, help Gon in ways that he didn't even understand. Like when he was on that date with Palm, and he didn't know that Killua was shadowing them and that he nearly died in a fight with Ramit. Like, all this shit of doing everything he can, he realized that he was not going to be able to protect Gon, so he did everything he could to try and do that, and it didn't matter in the end. And because Gon didn't value Killua as much as he was worth, so, you know, he valued revenge on Kite more than he valued Killua. Mm-hmm. So, and that's his childish nature, and that's you know, just how he is. But it just, when you think it from Killua's perspective, it's extra sad. And it's the lack of foresight. It's like his entire life has been dedicated to finding his dad, and then he just it's like you can't find your dad if you kill yourself. Yeah, you can't. Like, he just doesn't think about that. Yeah, I know. It's literally a kid throwing a tantrum. Yeah, it's just so crazy, and like I would just see it all the time. It's like, oh, I'm on this big quest, but I'll get there eventually kind of attitude. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter how many stops I make along the way, because I'm you know, that's my goal. But then it's life never ends. Yeah, I'll never die. I'll never nothing bad's ever going to happen. My friends are never going to get hurt. Everybody's going to live forever. We're all going to be fine for all time, and it's just going to be good. Yeah. It'll all work out. And then this happens. And it's so crazy as well. I mean, maybe we'll talk about this more in the discussion, but like I had so many theories about what Gon was going to do, or like how he was going to like kill Killua, or how he was going to
like just all these different things that I had been speculating about him doing. So it'll be interesting to like talk, like revisit all of those theories and then like look at that versus like how it is coming about here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't end up fighting like you would think Killua would like defend the good or like stand up against Gon when he's gone too far or whatever. But that's not the type of person Killua is because of his family and because of his relationship with Gon and how much he means to him. He wouldn't do that. Even if Gon like decided to kill 100 people and like rob a bank, Killua would be driving the fucking car. Like
yeah, but it's like
no, he'd be the one doing crowd control with Gon. Like he's ride or die no matter what. So, you know, they didn't end up fighting because Killua wouldn't do that, but Killua did get hurt deeply from this. Not just from this, but from what Gon said. Mm-hmm. Like, of just the disregard, you know, the disrespect. And, yeah.
And that's interesting as well. Yeah, like how you said with his family, of like his family was always in his business, but like they did really care about him in their own like really fucked up way. Like they were, you know, imposing all these things on him because they either didn't want him to get hurt or they wanted him to do.
They cared more about his potential to the family than they cared about him.
Yeah, but like they still were thinking about him and his life and, you know,
in the same way that Pouf is thinking about the king.
Yeah.
But not even. I think that maybe very similar. I would think like based on how they interacted and based on how we saw Pouf acting the last episode or the last 2 episodes or whatever it was, like with the king when they were saving him, like I don't see. I guess Killua's mom feels the same way. Yeah, but it's not good.
No, it's not good. But I'm saying like it is really the opposite with Gon. Just like Killua's family hurts him by like trying to keep him close and like trying to like dig their fingers in him and everything, and then Gon hurts Killua by pushing him away and disregarding him.
Exactly.
But then there's someone like Ikalgo who is like actually a very honest and true friend who thinks about himself and thinks about Killua and thinks about other people and thinks about the next day after this and that's you know, it's just. It's interesting to see the relationship with Killua and Gon, and then Killua and other people like now Palm and Ikalgo and these other people who are just more normal people, and like, you know, how he can like still have good friendships, but and how just like weird his relationship with Gon was, and just very intense and very like not very good, you know. Mm-hmm. But I guess we can move on to the next one.
Yep. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you then. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.